dropping the Friends reference to each title because it was becoming increasingly difficult to come up with ways to both include that and predict the future without having a clue what anybody's going to do. It was just too much effort. So this session 36 is titled "What a Difference a Day Makes." And just to recap, previously our group had been taken to a ancient gnomish, it turned out to be, bunker that then turned out to be an ancient city. They battled their way through automatons and puzzles to a final showdown with a orc who sacrificed one of the early group members way back about 20 odd sessions ago. They've defeated the orc and find that behind him was a supercomputer that has relayed everything that it knows about the current predicament facing both the planet they're on and a few other things, such as humans being interterrestrial aliens that have invaded the planet, and how that they're essentially going to ruin everything again for the third time in history. So the group have linked up with this computer, whose name is Jorvig, and he has detached himself from his central core and is now part of a tablet that they've taken. And this tablet will shows them the location of 12 other artifacts that they will need to collect in order to save the world. We ended with the group just about to take a much needed long rest, and we're going to decide what to do next, and that's where we're going to pick up.
Before we go ahead, I would just like to thank everybody who voted on Twitter. So now you have this lovely accent which is going all over the place right now. But forevermore, there will be an accent.
Stay. It must stay.
Technically, there is still 3 hours left of the poll.
If you desperately hated this session, go and vote, and then I can get rid of it. But as it stands, it stays. Right. It's a beautiful morning.
You're not sure what time of day it is when you awaken from your sleep.
No one's got clarity of mind.
You've had some rest. You've occasionally been disturbed by Alora picking through the parts of scrap robot that lie on the floor of the chamber. She seems to be like collecting pieces or like doing something odd.
Well, that's a Laura for us, isn't it? Used to that.
Laura, how much time do you need before you're ready to leave this place?
Alora will say that a year, perhaps 2.
Right, we're leaving.
She says that there is so much to explore here, and now that they have entry, that she would be happy to hire further assistance, and understands that you may have some other small matters that you may need to attend to.
Small matters like saving the world.
Alora will tell you that as much as Jorvig is fascinating, she thinks it's senile.
Wow, 2 senile people in one room. Right.
Whether he's senile or not, if what he says is true, you can't ignore it. Can't take that chance.
And that's why she says she understands that you can't take that chance, but she's going to see what she can learn from this, and gesture all around her.
Are you happy that we've performed our service?
She will say that she still requires an escort back to the road. But from there, she's happy that she'll be able to find her own way back to town.
I'm happy to escort you to the road.
As am I.
I think Cluck will happily escort you as well.
To the elevator shaft, I suppose.
Come then, finish up and let's get moving.
Right. We leaving by the same door, presumably, since there's only one way in and one way out. Ah, it's dark. I can't see anything.
Yep. So as you leave, and as you sort of pass the main threshold, you'll see Alora's stopped, and as the last person exits, she will remove the axe key, and the doors will seal themselves shut. And she will say that you can't be too careful. Wouldn't want anybody else laying claim to the place.
I thought you were gonna start doing some sort of Indiana Jones stuff. Then there's like some object can't pass the seal, the grand seal.
I will, Laura. I will point out that somehow that orc managed to enter here, not necessarily through the same means as we did. At least that would be my guess. He's been locked in that room since we arrived.
She'll say, all the same, best not leave the front door open.
Can we ask Jorvik if he needs to be recharged at all? And where does he get his power from?
Who is carrying Jorvik?
I think we agreed it was Kratel that was gonna hold him.
Yeah.
Should be me, yeah.
Okay. So you will pass out up the stairs, out into what appears to be the daytime, and you can see this 300-foot elevator shaft in front of you, with ruined stone all along the bottom from where you broke it.
Wolfa shudders slightly, looking at the rock that was once him.
Broke the elevator, didn't we?
Only a little bit.
We very, very broke it.
I will start unraveling my rope.
I'll ask Jorvik if there's any other way out of here.
How far are we from the surface again?
300 feet. So I'm assuming Jorvik, unless Kratel says he's carrying them, he's been stored somewhere. So like this ominous disembodied voice will start appearing out of his, start speaking out of his backpack, going, there are several ways out of the city itself, although I am not sure what use they would be in.
I'll take the tablet out of my pack.
Say what?
I will start dumping my rope on top of Cluck's rope.
We gotta get the rope up there.
I can fly.
Oh, you can fly. That is
Jorvik,
correct.
is there any other way out of here? I didn't quite hear you.
He will say, yes, there are several ways in and out of the city. This is but one. As to what state of use they are in, I cannot tell you.
How far is the nearest other exit?
Some distance.
How many robots?
How
are
long
gonna
would
get?
it take to get there?
In normal circumstances, less than an hour.
But
The city is in a state of disrepair. Several passageways could be blocked.
Well, we didn't see any other ways through anywhere when we came through. So it's probably good to assume they are actually blocked.
I think that is a good assumption. I kneel down and start tying my rope to Cluck's rope.
Whose rope is on the statue, and is that being left behind?
Ooh.
That's mine, and I will go and get.
Are there any sort of ledges in
So
this elevator shaft?
That'd be the
it's
chain,
like a
wouldn't it?
screw. If you imagine the walls of it, it's like a screw, as in it's threaded.
So not really.
Well, not ledges, but like handholds, footholds. Like it would be quite.
So you could sort of grab onto it with put hands and feet in it and just...
Yeah, there's definitely places
hold
to
on
find
to it.
purchase.
Okay. So how much rope have we got?
I have 50 feet.
I have 50 feet.
That's
I've
200
got 50 feet.
250 feet.
It's not enough.
Well,
Yeah.
if we could get that to the surface, if we could boulder up the wall for 50 feet, to the rope, that might be functional.
Yeah.
50 feet is not a great fall, but also not death likely.
Okay. It makes sense.
That would be my best guess.
I'll throw out my rope.
Yeah, I hand mine over. Now I've taken it back from the statue. Carefully, as not to move the thing.
So the
me
portcullis
and
will
Opal
sail in
will,
front of the door as you detach your rope from the scales.
Me and Opal just lashing together
All this rope.
all this rope.
Yep. So you get several coils of rope in front of you, and you reckon it's you're about 50 feet short at best, and
Yeah.
that's if you
No,
can
actually,
find
no.
something to tie off.
I'm going to usher to Kazar to hold on to one end of the rope, because if Opal's been tying knots, I will say to Kazar, I want to make sure these knots will actually stay knotted.
Sure thing. I understand the distrust.
Is this does this remind anybody of tying someone to a tree?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Precise.
Let's have a sleight of hand check. Ulfar, can you do it as a GM roll? So do rather than /R, do /GR.
Okay.
That means it will come to me.
It was only his hidden. Oh no.
Sleight of hand, did you say?
Yeah. Well that's fair because I will tell you if it's obvious that he's done terrible, as in like there's two bits that aren't attached to each other, but otherwise, you feel like he's he's tying rope. How hard can it be?
Well, if we want to test it, we want to sort of pull it.
Yeah, that's fine.
To be fair, they have reason to be distrustful regardless of how good of a job I've done.
After Cluck managed to just literally blow on your knots and blow them to pieces.
I rolled for you, David.
Yep, I can see it. So as you test the rope, it seems to be holding.
It's the word seems that concerns me
Yes.
slightly.
He always uses these words though, doesn't he?
Yes, it's as
Yeah,
if I don't want to telegraph what I'm going to do with the use of my language. Very astute
Well,
of you.
Me and Console will
Room
exert
seems
more
empty.
force on the knots.
you fly up and tie it off, and I'll sort of begin to climb up a little bit.
Yeah, so you're going to need to climb 50 feet just to get to where the rope's going to be sort of hanging from.
Yep.
I will grab the bottom of the rope and fly up to the top.
Yes, as he's flying up, I'll begin to climb.
Okay, I would like a strength athletics from you, please, Kathar. Just remind me, when's the last time you wound your hand?
After we got
This
it.
morning.
No, it was this morning. Before we came into the dungeon when we took the long rest. Actually, where we're standing right now, I think.
Okay. Kathar begins to climb up the wall and seems to be making good progress. What does everybody else want to do? Cluck's obviously flying to the surface to try and find somewhere to tie off his rope.
An anchor point.
There's big rocks around in the inside of it.
What am I going to do?
Well, I'm gonna give myself guidance and then try and climb.
I'm going to stand beneath. I'm going to stand beneath the two of them, and I will get ready to catch them until they get to a height where I couldn't feasibly catch a person. So if they're more than about 15 feet off the ground, I'm not going to bother.
Okay.
What we're doing with Alora, by the way?
But oh, that's a good point.
Is she climbing? Alora, are you okay to climb?
I would say Cluck can pick her up, but I'm not sure she'd trust him.
Yeah, if there's any mention of Cluck taking her, she'll say, no, I can climb. I was an adventurer as well, you know.
Okay.
If
You know, if you want to grab hold, you're quite welcome to.
She'll say, I will go last.
Fair enough. All right, I'm going to start climbing if everybody else is gone.
Yeah, there's only Ulfa and Duvar still to go.
Oh,
So I've just been and tied the rope off, and I've swooped back down and sort of, because I was getting near in the rope, I'm just gonna say just give it a tug before flying back up to the top.
yeah, I'm going to stay at the bottom until everybody in front of me has either got to the rope or fallen.
Okay. Duvar?
Okay. Go on then. I'll start climbing then.
Okay.
What do you want?
Strength athletics.
Strength athletics.
What do I want? For you, I want you to climb using your performance skill.
I can do that.
Have you got like the wall run shit yet? For my,
I don't know actually. That's a good point.
because I swear there's one you can use a key point and just run up sheer faces.
There is, isn't there? Something like that anyway.
No, I think he's only got the one where he can run across water.
I'll look when we get up. Strength.
Ooh.
He is a big turtle.
Okay. Duvar starts climbing. Kasar, in about 30 seconds, you get to the rope.
Okay. I will sort of keeping one foot and one finger grip on the side. I'll reach out and sort of grab the bottom of the rope, and I'll try to get to a point where I can like grab the rope with my hand and also put my feet around it, so I'm not just hanging from my hands.
Yep.
And then I will switch to the rope and start climbing from there.
Okay.
Using the knots as like bits I can rest at.
Okay. A athletics check with advantage because you're now climbing with the rope.
No.
Climbing never was your strong point.
He is also one-handed, isn't he?
No, I still got two hands.
Oh, well, I mean, the other hand's not particularly the most sturdiest.
Okay. So Kasar starts shimmying up the rope when Kratel, you will come to the end of the rope.
Okay, I will wait until he's got up because I don't trust the rope not to like.
Okay, so you're just going to sort of hang by where the rope starts.
Yeah.
Okay. So if he's hanging around there, Duvar, you will start to catch him up.
Yep. I'll look to see how far Kazar's up the rope.
He's probably about half the way out the shaft at this point.
Half the way. Hurry up! Okay, I'll wait for him.
Okay, so Kratel and Duvad like another athletics check from you as you wait.
Roger, roger.
And Kasai, if you can give me one more, please. With advantage still.
Cool beans.
Okay, within another minute or so, Kasai, you have scrambled to the surface. And you can see now it's clearly early morning.
Okay, I will shout down and say I'm up.
As because I'll see him, I'll just offer up a hand to pull him up.
And if he's up at the top, I will start climbing.
Okay. So now check for you, Kratel, with advantage. If you can do both of them. Duvan, are you going to wait for him to finish, or are you going to start climbing yourself?
I'll wait for him to start.
Okay, just a normal athletics check from you then, please, Duvar.
Yeah.
I think I need one more from you, Kratel. Perfect. So after about another minute and a half, Kratel makes it to the top of the ledge.
Is Alpha? I'll shout down to Alpha. You coming up, or you staying down, staying there for the rest of your life?
I'll be up in a moment. Keep going. I turn to Allura and I say, Allura, would you like to climb ahead of me? So in the off chance you do fall, there's a chance I could catch you.
She will sort of like, and then start like climbing surprisingly well up the side of this chamber shaft thing.
Okay. I will climb after her.
Okay. Duvar, do you try the rope? Yes, I'd like a normal athletics from you, please, Ulfar.
Is Alpha up?
He has just started.
It's just started. I'll wait for him. It would be patient and wait, one at a time.
Allura's in front of me.
There's nobody on the rope at the moment, Duvar.
Oh, there's nobody on the
Kratel's
rope.
already
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, Kratel's finished.
no,
Ulfar's
how about-
below you.
Sorry. Okay. Then I will climb the rope.
Okay, 2 checks with advantage.
There's one. And there is a second.
Nice.
Okay. Duvar makes it to the top without any issues.
Yay.
When you get to the rope, Ulfar, you based on how well you're climbing, you've actually managed to sort of pass Laura on the way up, and she gets to the rope stage a couple of seconds after you. But she will mention that she's quite comfortable climbing up the side if you want to use the rope.
Okay, if you say so. And I will start climbing up.
Okay, and 2 checks from you with advantage, please.
1. 2. Lost it.
Okay, so after another minute, a minute and a half, Ulfar will appear at the ledge, followed shortly afterwards by Allura, who has avoided the rope entirely.
And we pull the rope back up.
Yep,
Yes.
and separate it, and I will take my 50 feet if you don't mind.
And I sit down on the grass at the top and just look at the others and I'll just be like, time to save the world, eh?
Yes, we do need to decide where we're going next.
Well, we have to take Laura to the road, so that is our first port of call. And then decide from there, I suppose.
Well, I still need to go to Badir, and I believe we can get a boat from there.
I do believe I have business in Badir as well.
That sounds like the decision is made.
The shizzle rizzle.
The shizzle rizzle, not the fizzles.
Okay.
Oh, I was gonna say, what the fuck is that scary black dot?
Black hole.
See, the only thing I could find, I tried to note it.
It works perfectly
Yeah.
well.
Apart from it's got an icon in it.
If you can center it right.
Any? I suppose. Don't suppose we can close that up at all.
Not easily.
Throw some sticks and then some leaves on it.
Yes, let's spend half a day collecting sticks and leaves.
Who's got a tarpaulin?
Yeah. Be a pitfall trap for someone.
Right, to the road, I guess.
To the road.
Yes. Come on, Laura. Let's be heading.
Okay.
Whistle while we walk.
Take point, Kazar. You are the woodsman of our troop, I suppose.
And don't sneak.
And don't sneak.
Yeah, okay, I guess we'll just head south, like straight south towards the road.
Yep. Okay. Then let's see what time we're on now. You'll get to the road just about midday.
So, Laura, is there anything else you need from us, or are you okay getting back to Breckerby?
She mentions that she will have no trouble getting back from here, and she thanks you all for your assistance, and that if she learns anything else about the city, she will try to contact you.
And thank you for the hand.
She says,
Allura,
"Thank you for the many hands."
Allura, are you aware of a traveling merchant known as Gammon?
So I can't say that I am.
Never
Do you know
mind.
what he looks
I
like?
was just thinking. He's a dwarven fellow, red beard. I was just thinking if in the event that he came by, you might be able to contact him through us. He seems to show up in our lives fairly often.
She says that she will look out for him.
Well, have fun on your journey. Enjoy your notes. I wish you better assistance than I ever was.
She will thank you again and turn and start heading along the road in the wrong direction.
Do we know? So do we really know it's the wrong direction?
Yeah, you're fairly certain you know which way is east and which way is west.
Shout! Someone shout to her.
I will call out to her and say that's the wrong way. You're going to Askerby.
She'll look up and go, "Ah, just so I am," and turn around.
You're welcome.
As you sort of look past her, sorry, as you look towards her, she turns around. I'd like you all to make a perception check.
Do I make it with advantage?
What is the thing in your advantage?
The eye thing.
Sorry, when I say what
With
It-
sight.
is it with sight?
Yeah, it's with sight.
Yeah,
yeah,
then
it is
sure.
with sight. Sure.
Clock don't give a fuck.
Not bad, it helps a lot.
Get me ones out the way with now. Oh god, worse than me.
Crit fail, but
I ain't woke up yet.
yeah, Kratel's looking at his own hands.
Okay. Then it is Kassar and Duvar. Mainly Kassar. But you as you sort of
What
like,
about me?
sorry, you
I got the same role as Kassa.
you did, but you're applying guidance, and when it's a check to see if you notice something, I purposely ignore your guidance. I don't know if you've been aware I've been doing this, but
I did not.
you're I wonder if I notice something. Guidance. No, I don't.
Well, no, it isn't guidance. It's just a bonus for being a fancy human.
Does it apply all the time without you doing anything?
Yeah, I think so. Let me just double check.
Proceeds to check.
When you make a wisdom perception check, you can roll a d4 and add the number rolled to the ability check.
Okay.
Do you just
Yeah.
keep touching yourself every minute then?
No,
Nah,
his
one's
his is not guidance.
It'd be
yeah,
red
his
rule
one's
by now.
natural. My one's guidance,
Yeah,
which
no,
is why I don't use it for checks like that.
Oh well. So Kassar and Duvar,
Yes.
you will. It's sort of as you see Alora turn, you will hear off in the distance the sounds of hooves.
Towards Brackerby.
Yeah, from behind where Alora was heading to.
So Askerby.
Ah. Someone is coming this way. Can you tell from the sound of hooves if they're going fast, or are they just sort of? Does it sound more like a
Is it a gallop or a trot?
wagon? Yeah, is it a
Yeah.
horse or a wagon type thing?
It doesn't sound like a gallop, based on your
Okay.
check.
Well, someone is coming this way.
So at this point, Alora will pass you and say, "Well, thank you. Good luck with all saving the world." And she shrugs.
And thank you.
Oh Lord. Give
Shall
me
we meet-
strength.
Should we walk along the road then? Where are we going?
We want to go
to
south,
Badir.
don't we?
Yeah, we need to go south. But I would like to stay near this part of the road for a moment. Because I was saying horses are coming down or someone's coming down, I'd like to know who it was first before we just left.
Why?
Yeah.
Why?
Because the last time we had this happen, it was a Empire messenger.
I'll look at Cluck and Duvar, and them being the two more notable of the group. I'll be like, why don't you just you two wait in the bushes, just in case.
Duval will be very confused. Be like, why?
Because we wanted the Empire, and I'm pretty sure you're now associated with us. We broke out from slavery, and I'll look at Cluck and tap him on the shoulder.
Do we...
I'll say we survived quite an ordeal.
I think he's suggesting you are more noticeable than the rest of us in these lands, my friend, and that we
Knowing
might.
what the knowing what we did to escape the Empire, Cluck has already taken Kazar's advice and is now.
He's just hidden in a bush.
No, I'm just perched up in the tree.
Well, they won't particularly look too badly at three humans traveling together, but three humans, a giant chicken, and a giant turtle do raise an eyebrow.
And I'll just sort of say that I remember Ulfar mentioning there was a poster back in Caldiceld that particularly mentioned me and Kazar.
Didn't mention a total though. Okay.
Being the big chicken.
I'll go. I'll shrug and wander myself into the under.
So who's hiding? Who's staying on the road?
So I've gone up into the tree.
So hiding.
The giant 350-pound turtle is going to hide.
Hiding.
You're going to recede into your shell and pretend to be a rock.
Okay. Stealth checks from those that are hiding, please.
Critical fail.
Crit fail. I'm hiding behind like a twig. Stealth.
Not bad.
Not great.
You rolled less than your modifier.
That's how it goes sometimes.
Okay, so sort of minute will pass, and you can still hear the sound of hooves getting closer. The road ahead of you, sort of like 600-700 feet, will sort of bend slightly to the right, and from that you will see 2 horsemen appear, and they are followed swiftly by what appears to be several wagons and people walking either side of the wagons. And Kazar, Kratel, and Ulfar, you will very quickly sort of understand there's probably about 24 in this group that's moving down the road towards you. And now as they've turned the corner, you are immediately visible in the road.
Do we recognize any signs or like emblems or anything on them? Have they got anything like distinguished?
They're all wearing blue.
Do I notice that as an Imperial military uniform?
It's fairly obvious that they are military folk, yes.
I'll relay that information to Kratel and Ulfar and say this is the Imperial military.
I would suggest that, especially given their number, we buff quite sharpish.
Well, I suggest we don't. They can see us now, so I suggest we stand to one side and don't make too much of a fuss. If we run now, it will look bad.
Okay.
At this point, one of the outriders will start galloping towards you.
I'll step out to the opposite side of the road from where Duvar and Cluck are hiding, so that hopefully it will draw attention away from that side of the road. I'll stand on the other side.
Yeah, I'll go and stand next to them just off the road to the side, just to so it looks like we're just letting them pass.
I will follow their lead.
As you move to the side of the road, the galloping rider will slow back to a trot, and then he will pause until the column catches up to him. At this stage, you'll see there's sort of 6 wagons, all of them flanked by footmen, and 2 riders at the front and 2 riders at the rear.
As they get closer, just sort of within sort of talking distance, just as they pass, I'll bow my head down so that they can't really see my face, and just exchange the pleasantries that are common in the Empire, which I would know, sort of something along the lines of "Hail to the Empire" or something like that.
What's everybody else doing?
I'm gonna plunk myself down on my ass, and I might say, as the first guy turns up, just sort of blessings of the Stormlord, and then just like sort of play with the grass and I'm just like waiting, and chilling out.
I will not really do a lot other than just sit there and just say hail as someone walks past.
Okay. Another minute will pass, and they will draw level with you, and a few will dart their eyes towards you, but most seem to be either looking past you or beyond you into the woods either side of the wagons.
Do I notice that it's just soldiers inside the wagons? There's nothing else.
The wagons are covered and you can't make out what's inside. So the
Right.
soldiers are like walking alongside the wagons.
Yep.
Okay. It's about another minute, and the column will be past you, and they'll be continuing down the road towards Laura, who, as you turn and look, you can see she's paying no notice to them.
Well, she's discharged me. She's no longer my problem. That's fine.
Oh, the long love affair has died.
I reckon if we was to yell to get her attention to get out the way, it would cause too much attention on us. So I ain't doing it.
Yeah. Once they've passed, wait for them to sort of like get past Laura and out of sight before calling Cluck and Duvar down.
I'll just sort of wave to Kazar and just sort of put my thumbs up or thumbs down.
I'll give him a wink.
And I'll give it another
Can
couple
you
of
see
seconds.
the
and
wink
I'll-
from there?
Yes, I can. I'll give it another couple of seconds and I'll come down from the tree.
Yeah, so a couple of minutes will pass, and they'll round a bend that way. You do hear a bit of a commotion as they pass Laura, but nothing seems to come of it.
As I cross the road, I'll sort of say, I'll just say to Kazar, I'll just say Empire, a sort of like question mark. Certainly look
Yes.
like it.
Yes, those are Empire troops and Empire wagons. I'm glad we hid you out of sight, if I'm honest.
Yes. Even though it's been a while since we broke out, it's a giant chicken is not exactly the
Yes, you're not the most
easiest,
inconspicuous of fellows.
No.
And at least now we know they're moving around in quite large force.
Yeah, so Kassar, from your military days, you would know that for the men to be walking, what's in their wagons must be worth more than their lives.
Hmm.
You want to go steal from the Empire?
I said
If you're
Kassar
willing.
knows.
Yeah. I'm A, not willing to get tangled in the Empire, and B, not willing to take on 20 odd men.
If Cluck had his memory
Sorry.
back, he'd recognise it.
I'm not even gonna mention it to the others in case that they got some stupid idea
Duval was
about
just
taking on
saying
the Empire.
anyway. Duval was just saying it anyway.
Let's get to Budir. Sleep
Yes,
in
let's
an
get
actual
moving.
bed for the first time in days.
It'd be nice to go without some bloodshed for a while.
Well, that won't last long. Jeez, come on, have you met our comments?
Yes, it's like someone keeps wandering off and getting into trouble.
Yes, like werewolves.
That wasn't me wandering off, in fairness.
Okay,
No, it's you sneaking off.
so what do you do? How long do you wait before you proceed after them?
Once we're out of eyesight,
Oh, they're going down to Budir, are they? We're not going to Breckerby, are we? Or we're going to... I thought we were going...
yeah, we're going south to Badir.
But
Where
yeah,
did the caravan go?
I thought they went past a... Whatchamacallit, so...
You didn't say
Down
so.
Breckerby.
Like in terms of like how far this is, like from the crossroads, you're at least a mile.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, let's just go into the woods then. That sounds like a great idea.
Let's just follow the road.
We'll follow the road to the crossroads and then we'll go south towards. But
Yeah.
I don't mind going in the woods.
I've never had a good time in these woods.
Well, to be fair, it was the other woods, not these ones.
Okay, so you walk for about a mile, and you will. It gets kind of comical in that you will catch up to Alora and be sort of like walking alongside her for about a mile before you reach the junction in the road. She will say, "Ah, so you could have said you were coming back this way. It would have made things more easy."
We weren't sure which way we were going.
We're heading down to Badir. We may have got ourselves a little mixed up with directions.
She says, "Ah, yes, it's easy to do that in here. I've had a bit of trouble myself."
We saw.
No kidding.
She was saying, "Well, if you're planning to travel to Badir, then this is your route." And she'll stand underneath the sign that points to Badir and says, "You're lucky I was here. Otherwise, you may have ended up lost as well. It's that way."
Yeah.
Thank you for that, Allura.
Thank you, Allura. Very helpful.
She says, "You're most welcome," and she will turn and start travelling along the road to Breckerby. Now, Kassar, I'd like you to make a survival check. You are drawn to signs on the crossroad which shows that a number of wagons has turned off the road and is heading south along the road to the Badir.
I'll essentially say it looks like the wagons take this path to Badir, so we must be on the right track.
Okay.
Come on, everyone. We're going to Badir. But we may want to lag behind a little bit, just in case these are the Imperial wagons.
Okay. Onwards we go. David, as we walk, I'm going to cast Sending to Gammon, and
Okay.
I will say, by my guess, Gammon, you should have reached Faratov by now. I am checking that the sword has been returned to its rightful place. Could you reply in kind via this communication?
Perfect. And that is pretty much unlimited range, isn't it?
Yeah, more or less.
Yep. Okay. So you will get a reply from Gammon that says that they've made it to Faratoft, that the damage was worse than they feared, and much life has been lost, but the town still stands. The statue, the sword has been returned, but the statue itself will even need repairs.
I understand. If I am in that part of the world, I will lend my aid, but other things draw me away. Thank you for lending the Stormlord your carriage to do his work. You are a good man. I can't do that because I don't get through. So I've just realised that. Okay, so that's the end of that.
Yeah. Sorry, for some reason the party token's gone really small. My Roll20 is giving me some grief. There we go.
Yeah.
So you're gonna hang back by the wagon and follow it, yeah?
Yeah.
We don't want to catch up to it.
Okay. So after around 2 hours or so, you will break through the edge of the forest onto a grassy, windswept plain with like quite tussocky sort of grass growing out of mounds sort of around. It doesn't look like it would be good for travelling across on foot, but thankfully the road is well travelled and well laid. The one good thing the Empire has done for the area is built good roads.
Just like the Chinese.
And the Nazis.
What?
What?
That's a new one.
Nothing.
Wait, what?
They built the autobahns.
Okay, and
Okay.
assuming that you're just going to travel until nightfall or until you get to Bedir, whichever is soonest.
Yeah, whichever's quickest. Yeah.
Okay.
Uh,
Then after traveling most of the day and sort of in the wee hours before it gets properly dark, you will arrive at the village of Bedir. Which looks a little like this.
I recognise this place.
So do I. Blast from the.
So you're walking through or next to some fields growing various crops. You can see the village rising up ahead of you. The most distinguishing feature that you can see from a distance is a tall lighthouse that is illuminating itself. You can also see some sort of encampment to your north, set off the road with a number of tents and wagons.
Are they the same wagons that we saw on the road earlier?
Make a perception check. No, they appear to be entirely different construction. With your check, you'd sort of more think they were caravans than wagons.
Okay. Would I know what those kind of caravans would belong to, roughly? Do I just immediately go with gypsies?
You can immediately go with gypsies if you like.
Travellers, McNair, travellers.
Dorur.
They're part of the
Well-
travelling community.
It appears they have a road, so it can't be that fresh. I
Haven't
suppose.
been kicked out yet by the council.
As we get to each of these places, so the roads that enter here, are there any signs by the side of the road as to what the roads lead to?
So there is a sign that points south,
Hmm.
and that sign says Haugesons.
Pardon?
Haugesons.
Haugesons.
Like pigs.
Like that.
Whores.
Okay.
It's a farm road anyway, by the looks of it.
It's not a main road.
Shall we continue into town?
Cautiously, if our wagon friends are ahead of us and you're still worried about them.
Maybe we could leave you with these kind gypsies. Travellers.
Maybe you could.
Let's just go to town.
Okay.
Tired.
Okay, and when you push into the village, is there anything apart from the Empire type that you're looking for or looking out for?
For me, it'll be the slave markets.
And I'll be looking out for anyone from the Order.
Okay.
I'll be looking for a bar.
Okay,
I
Cluck.
need to find a. I'd like to find a weaponsmith of
Okay.
sorts.
And
Will
Ulfar.
it still be open?
Probably the only thing that would catch my attention is if there was any temple to Cord, or also anything that looks Kogo Sprockety, which I suddenly have a fascination towards inexplicably. Anything.
Okay. So, Duvar, you are in luck as the first building that you see as you come into town is a obviously a tavern, and the sign denotes it as the Crooked Pony, and it's this building here, and it's most unusual, isn't it's got a tower built into the center of the inn, and the tower has a slight lean to it, and you gather that's probably where it gets its name from.
I'm gathering that's where it gets its name from.
Very insightful, sir.
Is there do you think there's only one in, or do you think there's another one about?
Could be. There was 2 in Breckaby, and the first one was definitely the lesser of the 2 in that town.
What is the time, David, at the moment?
Evening, like dusk sort of time.
7, 8 o'clock.
Depends on the season, but yes.
Yeah.
I'm more thinking that we're like gonna shop around for an inn, and it's already like night time. That's why I was checking.
That's a good point.
Well, it's 7, 8 o'clock. So
Devon normally sniffs out the inns and bars.
He's a travelling turtle. He knows where the good drinks are.
Yeah, exactly.
In here we go.
And here we go.
Okay.
I'll walk straight up to the counter if there is one. I'm assuming there is.
I'm surprised Duvar's not just going in. Oh no, Duvar's just going in and serving himself.
We've got to meet the receptionist first, I'm assuming, if it's an inn.
Yep. So, sorry, I just lost my notes for a second. So, the inn is timber construction. As you go in, you'll see there's a number of hunted trophies that line the walls, like elk, deers, the occasional goblin.
My eyes will light up.
There's a few people inside the inn. There's a few patrons dotted around the place. They seem to be mainly humans, with the occasional halfling and definitely some half elves. But it's mainly human clientele. The person behind the bar appears to be a human female. And as you enter, she will sort of like beckon you forward through the bar through the area to the bar.
Okay, I'll approach. So hello, we're looking for rooms and a drink. Or the other way around.
She will say that. Well, first of all, she's going to introduce herself, and she'll say, "My name's Anne. This is the Crooked Pony, and we have both in adequate supply."
Excellent. I'll ask for a bottle of their of what's their local drink here.
She will tell you that the town actually grows wine here, and there is a wine called Kirkland Claret that is the local tipple of choice. It's quite a refreshing palate, and that she can get you a glass or a bottle if you prefer.
I'll take 2 bottles if they don't mind.
She'll say that's no problem at all. That will be 19 gold and 4 silver.
19 gold. Wow. Oh, go put that.
The class is
Looking at how much gold have I got? Oh, right. Okay. Well, I'll throw out 19 gold at her then, I think. And
Throw it.
4 silver.
4
Yeah.
silver.
Yeah. Okay, so she will count up the coins and then produce 2 bottles that have last year's date on it, and she will say that if you like that, there's plenty more. There was a very good harvest last year.
Excellent. Thank you. And a room for all of me and my companions and my friends.
She will look at, sort of over you all and says, you can stay in the pony if you want. There's enough of you that it'll be private.
Private is good. I like private.
She will say that it's 2 gold for the room for the night, but that does include food tonight and breakfast in the morning.
Okay.
Oh,
I'll pay it.
Okay. She will thank you and say if you just want to follow this girl here, she will lead you to your room, and a young human will take you through the back of the bar area, up 3 flights of stairs into a square room that is the windows clearly show that you're in the tower that was built in the middle of the inn.
Hmm.
And the girl that's taking you up to the room will say that you're more than welcome to come back down to the common area should you wish to spend some of the evening there. Although if you want to stay in your room, that's also well. And she will point out a pulley next to the door and says, "Please ring this when you're ready for your food."
okay. Thank you.
Thank you for your hospitality.
She will nod
Thank you,
and
Duvar.
disappear.
Thank you.
Do you want to go sit downstairs in the bar area, or do you want? Should we have a little quiet drink up here?
Yeah, I was thinking about scouting out the town a little bit before we go in tomorrow, just to make sure we're not running into any Imperial checkpoints.
Probably a good idea. Need to get the lay of the land a little bit.
Yeah, and I'm stealthier on my own, and I'll sort of give a wry smile.
I put down my giant flaming maul on the bed and I go, whatever gave you that?
Nothing. No idea. Between the giant flaming maul, the giant turtle, the giant chicken, and the guy wearing heavy armor, do you know what? It's just best usually if I'm doing this on my own.
There's a lot of noise.
Okay. How long should you be gone before I should start to worry about you?
I say, why don't
Between-
you use your psychic sense and send messages to Kazar?
Ugh.
Between an hour or two.
Okay.
I shouldn't be too long. I just want to get a lay of the land, check everything, and see if I can find anything in particular that might be of interest.
I say, if you happen to see anything looks like a weaponsmith, let me know.
I'll note down anything of interest. Don't worry, Cluck. I also say to Kratel that if I see any sign of his brotherhood, I'll note that down as well.
That would be appreciated.
Meanwhile, while he's gone, I get glasses together.
Duvar's is busy getting Phil Mitchelled.
I haven't got a clue what that means, by the way.
Better than being Ian Beald.
And again, no relevant information. Sorry.
It's the wrong crowd for these jokes.
I will send you a video afterwards.
I don't want to watch
Duvar.
any EastEnders, thanks.
Okay.
And I'll bid everyone adieu and sort of head down.
It's
Okay.
racist.
So it's a plan for everybody else to drink Duvar's very expensive wine.
Yes.
Yeah,
At least have one
probably.
glass of it.
Yeah. That's fair, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I will leave you all there, and we will pick up with Kassar.
No, I'll try and keep one bottle for the road if I can. But we'll see if how it goes. Depends how well we get drinking.
Okay, so Kassar, when you leave the inn, are you heading in any particular direction?
So yeah, when I leave the inn, I'll head down towards this area, the main area that I can see. It looks more like a open area.
Yep. So that appears to be a marketplace. Things to note is obviously the market stalls themselves. They're all shut as to what they sell. You can't tell. There's no produce there. This appears to be a shrine of sorts.
Okay.
This appears to be some sort of herb shop.
Right.
This is something that the sign says the Father's Basilisk. As to what that is, you've got no idea.
The Father's Basilisk.
Yeah, you
Okay.
would almost think it was a tavern, although it doesn't look like a tavern, and that's the only thing that makes you think that it isn't a tavern is that it's closed.
Okay.
The other thing that you can see is this appears to be some sort of stables or like beast seller of sorts. The sign denotes that as Godfrey's Good Horses.
Okay. Okay. After I've checked that out, I'll continue heading down towards this area.
Okay. Yeah. So the town or the village, I should say, is starting to shut up shop. So there's not many people around this evening. Just checking the weather to see if there's a reason for that. Yeah, it's a bit drizzly.
Okay.
So you get there. There's a fountain. Just seems to be where the town gets their drinking water from. Sort of to the north, you can see the outline of some ships in the harbour itself. They appear to be mainly of sort of like small fishing or trading vessels. There is a sort of a slightly larger ship that seems to be moored on the farther end that you can see. What sort of distance is that? Yeah, you can just see it's a tall masted ship, which the rest of them look much smaller in comparison.
Okay. In that case, I'll head along that road, so up this way to here, just sort of along the waterfront as such, towards the lighthouse.
Well, you've got two options then. You can either go along the waterfront, or you can sit on the back alley of it if you like.
I'll sit on the back alley, thank you.
Okay. So there's what appears to be several warehouses along the way. This appears to be a well of some sort. Although the handle's been taken off the well, so the bucket and chain can't be lowered. To here looks like sort of like quite a seedy, rundown area with sort of like shacks mainly. Ahead of you appears to be a tower of stone construction. And then once you get to the T-junction, you can see the lighthouse itself.
Do I notice anything about the is there anything in the shacks or anything that looks like it's sort of another inn or tavern or anything like that?
Nothing that jumps out at all, no.
Okay. And the tower, is there anything in like that I can see about the tower, or is it just is it like do I see an Imperial Guard outside or anything like that?
No, it's not like a fortified tower. It's like a
silo?
it's no,
Like
it's
a
like
domicile, or
it's like a stone tower. It's like a turret
Okay.
that's got a roof on it.
okay. Just wondering its use. All right. In which
It's
case,
not immediately obvious from the outside what it's used for.
okay. In that case, I'll continue and I'll come back the other way and go the other way past the well in the middle. So I go to back here.
I'd like at this point for you to just make a stealth check to see if you draw any attention as you're moving around town.
Okay, 2 seconds.
Oh. God, thank God for your bonus on that. 'Cause that was atrocious.
Okay. So in the room, Duvar is pouring a very nice looking claret into glasses. It's got a lovely bouquet.
It's gonna go to absolute waste with these people.
Hey, you're not here. You can't judge us.
Hey,
Judge you from
I'm
afar.
part of the Brotherhood, which brew beer and everything. I'm fine with this.
Hey, your master's called Steelfist. He doesn't have any class.
But he could probably kill you.
Oh, don't doubt it. Oh dear. Cheers.
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 Bob's up, everybody.
And I will take a sip of the wine.
Like a lady? Or
No,
like it's
to see if I
poison?
like the taste and to check for poison. Yeah.
It seems to be of really good quality. Do you find it
Then I
most
will enjoy
agreeable?
Well,
All of our necks his entire glass in one.
Duvar is surprised by the differences between the two people.
Thank you, my friend. That was very, very nice.
Duvar will just drink a normal, just normally.
It's the Goldilocks of wine drinking. Just
Yeah.
right.
Just right. He's been an expert of it for years, so he knows exactly how much he should be drinking.
um, um,
Um,
um,
So, my friends, how do you think we get on in our last adventure? And where do you think we should be going next?
Duvar completely forgetting he's on the mission to save the world.
Well,
well, next stop is a boat.
yeah, that one's obvious.
Once Kratel and Kazar have got over this business, and I do like air quotes with my fingers that they have to deal with.
I will bring out the tablet with Jorvig in it and ask him to display the map with all the points of where the rings of power.
Okay, so Jorvig will oblige and show you the map. He will say, these are all the locations where the rings of power were forged.
Alright, and where are we?
Blue dot.
Yeah, so the blue dot is where you found Jorvig. You've since moved down the coast to about here.
Okay, that sounds counterintuitive.
Well,
when
it
you
was
just
the
boat.
nearest place with the boat.
Yeah.
However, the nearest island to us is to the north.
Yeah.
Now, if I remember rightly, that's the home of the Or.
Yep.
It was when the rings were made, yes.
And the one even further north was the home of the Arakocrans.
Indeed.
which I believe you may want to get a bit further through recovering your memories before we go near there.
I don't know. Maybe getting there will jog his memories.
That's true.
We don't know why he left.
Then there's only one way to find out.
And
As
if it
the,
was
as Jorvik
banishment on
said-
pain of death,
Oh,
As Jorvik said, that was many thousands of years ago. There may not be anything left.
That is true.
we don't know if he was banished from there, do we? Or we don't know if he came from there, do we?
No.
no, we don't. But I don't want to risk anything
I'll
kind
be
of
honest.
without at least learning something.
I don't think there's any problem with going there. I mean, it was thousands of years ago. We don't know if he came from there, and we don't know anything. So
In fairness,
it's better that we find out more about his people.
if we are to undertake this task, we will have to visit all these places anyway. So
Aye, yes, but the sooner if we can bring Cluck's memory back, maybe it will help us.
that is true. It is always
All right.
possible.
In that case, shall we hit the Orc place next, and
Yes.
then from there, probably go up to the Arakokra one because it is technically like the nearest place to there.
Yeah.
Kind of. It's about equal
It's
with
about
the
the
other.
same, yeah.
Presuming we can get a sturdy boat from where the Ring of Blood is hidden to that northernmost island, that is a big stretch of ocean.
It is a big trip, but then again, we've got to go around the tip of our island as well. That's not the easiest of tasks.
No, granted, but our issue, like where we go next, is probably the only one we need to worry about because our circumstance will probably dictate where we can go next.
Cluck will, on the boat, or hearing the boat saying, I will sit in the crow's nest.
You're not a crow, though.
No, but it has nest in it.
Bring you a bale of hay as well.
Please.
Jorvik, what did you know of the islands when you were last aware of them before you went for your big sleep? What did you know about where the Ring of Blood is hidden?
He will say that the Ring of Blood was forged in a location known as Skalg. The Orcs were a ferocious, honor-bound warrior race, and they defended our planet valiantly, and as a result, their island was shattered by the humans. What you see now is an approximation of what you will find.
I understand. Is the island, it is broken, does it still shift? Is it consistent? Whether or not it's consistent to this map, is it consistent since it's sundering?
Jorvik will tell you that unfortunately he cannot detect what its current state is.
Okay.
His ability to see the wider world has been much diminished since the
Okay. What was the condition of the Arakocran homelands further to the north when you were last aware of them?
he will say lush jungles covered this island. The Arakocrans would roost in their treetops and build their cities up there.
Interesting. Hearing this information about the sundering of Oak Island makes me worried about taking a boat there. Certainly, if we don't have a very good ship's captain or whoever would be sailing.
What was the ring on the Arakocra place?
I do not have it written down.
The Ring of Foresight, Jorvik will interject.
Roger. Well, I mean, I think wherever we go, we're going to we're not going to have an easy time of it. So
Yes, we may find when we speak to ship captains that our destination will be determined by who we can get to take us there.
is there any way maybe we can find a world map here, or an island map around here?
That's a good point.
There might
Certainly,
be a cartographer.
yes. Certainly, if we speak to some of the ships, they will have to have had some sort of navigating information, depending on where they go. We might be able to get a more up-to-date information.
The ship's masters or whatever, they should have. They hopefully will have maps to sell to the ship people.
Quite possibly.
Okay. Kassar, so as you travel back through the village, nothing stands out until you get to the edge of the village on the east side, down here.
Mm-hmm.
And to
Yep.
your south, you will see a large, expansive estate set up on top of a hill, with a wall surrounding it, quite a decorative but functional brick wall.
How high is the wall?
8 feet.
Okay. Is there any sort of sign to say what the estate is called or anything?
There isn't, but from where you are, you can see 2 guard like huts set into the entrance.
Okay. Are there guards there posted there at the moment?
Yes, there does seem to be at least lights on in the huts.
Do I notice if they're wearing an imperial uniform or a private uniform? Armor.
Make a perception check. Okay, so they seem to be wearing...
Sorry, my first roll took ages to come through, so I tried again.
That's fine.
So I rolled twice.
So they're not wearing Imperial uniforms, but they do seem to be wearing a livery of sort. I'd like you to make a history check.
Okay.
Okay, you feel like you've seen it before, although you can't place it.
Right, okay. Okay, if that is the case, then I'll head back along that road that I'm on until I sort of meet the fork and I'll cross over back to the inn.
Okay, so the only other building that draws your attention is this one. But again, with it being quite dark now and it being shut, you're not sure what it is. It doesn't have any signs or anything. It just looks grander.
Okay.
Okay, so when you return to the inn, the downstairs area has started to thin out slightly. There's only 6 or 7 patrons left. The proprietor will recognise you and asks if you will be wanting to eat in the common areas of the bar, or whether you would want serving in your room.
If the others are not down here, then I assume they'll want serving in the room. Would you like some help carrying it up?
She will say that it's quite okay, and that she'll send one of the girls up with food.
Thank you very much. I'll be in the room, and I'll head upstairs.
Okay. You will walk in on your friends discussing what to do, looking over the map, and talking about finding a boat.
Okay. I'll say, well, I've had a good enough look around town. Unfortunately, didn't find what we were looking for, but I found a few things that are worth looking into tomorrow, including a boat.
Did you find somewhere? Did you find somewhere where we could find a map?
Can't really tell if there are shops. There are lots of trading stores out there, and there are some places that appear to be shops, but I can't make out what they are. They're all closed, so unfortunately, I can show you where they are, but I couldn't tell you if one sold a map or not.
Might be worth asking the bartender downstairs before we leave tomorrow. They should know a lot about the local area.
I'll wave the bottle at Kazar and see if he and offer a glass. Duval will.
Is there any left?
Of course there
I'm
is.
surprised Cluck hasn't gone through all of it.
Wow. Once we have, there's that bottle that Cluck's still got holding on to. I think he's still holding on to.
No, Kratel picked it back up. Or someone did.
Brandy.
I don't know. Well,
Rum.
anyway, would you like some?
There's a knock on the
Yes,
door.
I have a small glass. Ah, that'll be the food.
Ah, food. Ah, I'm hungry.
I'll go and open the door.
A girl carrying a large tray of food will walk into the room and set it down on a nearby table. It seems to be strips of meat, bread, cheese, vegetables that have been broiled.
Looks wonderful. Thank you very much.
She will nod
There is fine.
and she will leave the room.
Before you leave, I'll not look my head out the door, and just before I leave, do you know a lot about the town, Alaska?
She'll say, "Yes, sir."
I'm just wondering if you would know of any of the places here around here that would sell a map or at all.
She'll think about it for a time and she'll say, "You could try the store, or failing that, you could speak to old Sark, see if he's got a map."
Old Sock. Which store are you talking about, by chance?
Door?
Which store?
Oh, the general store.
The general store. Okay. Oh, sorry. Did it have a name? But
Yes.
If not, never mind. It's got the general store. Don't tell me. I'll say thank you and throw 2 coppers.
She'll catch them and sort of look at them and then look back at you and just walk off.
Maybe I should have given her silver.
Maybe you should.
Well, I'll tuck into my portion.
I'll tell them about the old sock and the general store, just out of in mid chit chat.
I will offer anyone else if anyone wants my cheese. I've had enough cheese for a while.
I'll take that.
Yeah, Cluck, there is chicken on this platter as well. I hope that doesn't offend you.
I know. I'm a consumer of chicken.
So I'll sort of recant to the guys what I've found, and I'll also tell them about the boats at the harbour. That there doesn't seem to be any that could take us on a reliable voyage, but there is one that's probably big enough. But whether they take us where they want to go, I'm not sure, because it's probably on a course and we could buy passage. But I doubt we could. I doubt they'll be going to the place we want to go.
It would probably be not cost effective to pay for the ship to turn its course.
I'm not sure we can
steal
afford
the ship?
it.
I
I'm suggesting we find out where the ship is going, hitch a ride, and go to essentially go to the next place.
Hitchhiker
Is
ride.
would it be more beneficial if we can't find a ship that we want to go on here, or if there's not something to move to the next town? That's one further up, isn't there?
There is, though there's no guarantee we'll find anything there. Though it is the capital of this island.
Well, surely if it's the capital, we'll have a much better chance of finding what we're looking for.
We'll also have a much better chance of getting caught by the Imperials.
We do, I agree. Maybe you can use your stealth.
We'll cross
Sure,
that
I
bridge when
can,
we
but I'm
come
not
to it.
sure you could. So it's worth talking to the captain of the ship tomorrow, just to see what their destination is.
That sounds like a good start. What is the business that you and Kratel have in Badia?
Well, Kratel's you're looking for your brothers, aren't you?
Yeah, there's a little bit of aid I need to give to the Brotherhood here. It shouldn't take too.
Will
Do you know where they reside? Because I didn't see any particular sign of them.
Unfortunately not. I was just told to come and find part of the Brotherhood here, and they would then give me direction on what I needed to do. Apparently they just needed aid.
I'll sort of tell them there's some small outlying places which I didn't really get a good look at, but maybe it's one of those.
Wow.
And I'll mention the places noted at like 4 and 5.
Very good.
If I recount the livery as I noticed it of the guards, I'll see if that sort of perks anyone's memories up. Say, I saw some guards in a particular uniform, but unfortunately my memory's gone blank. I don't know if anyone else knows about that.
Do you want some kind of check from us, David?
I'll try to describe it.
No.
Nah. None of
Would
us.
my background help with any of this?
No. Sorry, I didn't mean to kill the conversation. No, none of your abilities or your background or history is good here. Move on.
No,
I was just reading my background, to be fair.
Okay. Was there anything else to note? Anything?
Did
we
you
also
happen to
passed
get?
that place.
Do you happen to get the location of the general store? Did you see anything of it, like the general store that Duval mentioned?
Similar to what I said earlier, I found some stores and some stalls, but everything was shut by the time I had a look around, so I couldn't tell you. But I can show you where the stores are tomorrow, so I'm sure we can find something for you.
Sounds like a plan to me. And you're sort of evasive, Kasa, but you said you had business in town. How far do we need to pursue this?
I'm just looking for someone, and if we find them, then we'll find out from there. Just
Okay.
looking for someone to help someone else out.
Okay. We will cross that bridge when we come to it. I don't know about the rest of you, but I am tired from climbing and walking and fighting. I'm going to bed.
fighting today.
Yes, let's all go to bed then, and we'll go find out what the town has in store tomorrow.
Okay. So, a couple of things will happen. So you'll all benefit from another long rest, and you'll wake the next morning to the door being knocked on.
Come in.
So another one of the serving girls will enter, this time with a large pot of what appears to be some sort of oatmeal and several spoons sticking out of it. She will set it down and then sort of like nod and walk out without saying a word. Now, as the wind picked up overnight, you feel like the tower itself does sway slightly in a strong breeze, and you get a sort of a little bit feeling of like motion sickness just as it sort of like rocks to and fro under a gust.
Well, that's a little uneasy.
I bend over and I look in the pot. What do I see?
Oatmeal.
Oatmeal
And spoons.
and spoons.
There's no.
It's like a small cauldron of oatmeal.
Okay.
I take a nice big spoonful of it. I fill up my bowl, if I have one. Which I do. I fill up my bowl and start eating away, of course.
Yeah, I'll dig out my mince tin.
Yeah, I'll chat down and sort of get my stuff together ready for the day.
Okay. So is there anything else you want to do before you leave the inn?
Have a shave and a shower.
As we walk out of the inn, I like as absentmindedly like look at the different things that are on the wall and like poke it and like look in its mouth and like just like to the point where just as everyone's about to leave the room, I'll like rush after them because I realise that I've got distracted.
Yes, well I'll
I
continue
presume I
out.
don't notice anything of value by looking in things.
No.
Ulvar will continue out. You'll say thank you to the innkeeper, if it's the same one this morning, or say hello to the current one.
It seems to be the same woman.
Hello. Did you, Kazar, did you want to ask her any questions before we go, about the town?
If you stop to talk to her, she will before you even have a chance to say anything to her, she will say that she's a bit rushed off her feet. But if you sort of leave her half an hour or so to get the day started, she'll be able to get you a drink or see to any of the needs that you've got.
Okay. Does everybody? Should we just go and have a look around? Or do you want to? Wait?
I'll show you where all the stalls are and everything. So I'll just say, come and follow me. I'll show you where the market square is.
Lead the way, sir.
And I'll walk out the door and literally point to the market square that's within sight distance.
Yep. So ahead of you, you can see. You can see empty market stalls with no sign of anybody coming to stock them.
What sort of time is it? Is it like literally like
morning?
Dawn?
No, it's dawn has passed. You're into the daylight hours now.
I'll head off down into the market.
I'm gonna guess it's a day off.
With the light of day, trying to figure out what the things were I saw last night. So some of the shops.
Yep. So the shops themselves seem to be open. So there is a sign on this one that says that the building is the Herbal Infusion, and then you've got the Father's Basilisk to the right of it. Now, unless any of you are wandering off, I'm just going to treat you as one group here. But if somebody does find a reason to wander off, do let me know. I'm sure the local pickpockets will be happy.
Does Duvar need a reason?
Okay, well, it's when I say reason, until you wander off, I'm just going to treat you with the group.
Yeah.
So I was seeing that the I wandered into the Father's Basilisk. It seems to sound like a possible weapon store, or at least head into a store, see if I can find one.
Okay, so Clock heads into the Father's Basilisk.
I'm going to check out the stalls and see what they all sell.
Okay,
They're
so
closed.
there's nobody at any of the stalls, and they're all empty.
Ah, damn.
Just like Hitchin Market Square.
Yeah.
In which case, I'll follow Clock into the Father's Basilisk.
It's all closed because of the coronas. Yeah, I guess we all follow Clark into this creepy named building with no obvious understanding of what it is.
Kratel? Have we lost Kratel?
No. I will wander about and see if I can see any signs from the order.
So you wander off on your own?
Daytime in a town, we should be alright.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm just clarifying.
Duval was going to go with him anyway. You know, he had such a great time last time he went with him.
Okay, so Kratel, I'd just like you to make a perception check, just as you look around to see what you find. Cluck, as you walk into this building, the first thing that strikes you is as you enter. In fact, I'd like you to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, good.
Ho ho!
Well, I see something.
Okay, you are for sort of milliseconds, Cluck. You feel the presence of danger to your immediate right, but you quickly make it out to be a taxidermied bear that stood up near the doorway on its back paws, as if it's about to strike whoever's walking through the door. But
What's
you,
it sort of going?
yeah, but because sort of like you managed to sense it, deduce it wasn't a threat, and sort of continue on, all without anybody behind you even contemplating that you might have been afraid for a second.
Does that mean that all of us need to make wisdom saves as we can to make sure we don't get scared by the goddamn bear?
Well, it depends whether Cluck points anything out to you, but the next person
That's
through
a
the
good
door
point.
will certainly need to.
I'd say yes. I'd say so far as going in store for Kazar and the rest.
So what was that,
I'll
Cluck?
just, yeah, since obviously I'm in there first. Obviously they were behind. I'll just say, big bear on your left, or right, whatever it was.
It doesn't know which is which.
No.
Bear left.
Yeah, bear left. Bear left.
Okay. Kratel, while you're wandering around, you hear the chiming of a bell, and it's very clear it's coming from a bell tower outside the village to the south. And as you wander off in that direction, you can see a tree-lined avenue that leads up to a tumbled-down stone wall, and beyond it is quite clearly some sort of church.
Well, that'll be
It's
the
a
direction
Sunday.
we're heading.
Yeah, it could be a day of worship, couldn't it?
Yeah, so I think well, possibly Duvar wouldn't get it, but like today is the day of a free day, and it's the one day off that most people normally take, so that's why the market's closed. And like it's fairly obvious when you get to the market and everything's shut that if you weren't aware of what day it was, that would sort of jog your memory as to what day it was.
What type of church is it?
The church itself is a large stone building. Ground surrounded by an old stone wall that's started to tumble in places. Just past the wall is a small duck pond. A graveyard sort of hugs the western side of the building, while a cloistered courtyard has been attached to the east, and there's a large bell tower overhanging the entrance of the church itself. Okay. So Cluck, as you enter the basilisk, you've seen the bear. You've pointed it out. As you turn towards the back of the store, you'll see a male human sort of come forward and say, "Oh, don't mind old Smokey. He's just keeping out thieves."
He's a fine beast. Did you take him down?
He says, "Oh no, I purchased it from somebody who's into that sort of thing." So it's quite humorous, really.
Well, you can help. Looking to if there's a weaponsmith or a place where I could get some new weapons in town.
He will say that there's not great need for a weaponsmith in the village, so they don't have one. There is a smith of sorts who runs the stables, but he mainly works on nails, shoes, that kind of thing.
Farrier.
Says whatever the village needs, really.
Okay, so I'll be like, so if I was to ask him to smith a weapon for a price, he would probably do it.
He will nod and say, "No harm in asking."
Just while we're in there, what do you sell in here, or what do you do? Apart from try and spook people with giant bears.
He will say he is a purveyor of goods. He has a few things that might interest somebody such as yourself.
I'll say, I'll have a browse, see what you have to offer.
So apart from like the run-of-the-mill sort of stuff, like arrows, bolts, stones, food, so like trade gloves, like cloth, like leather, that sort of thing. He has like some tools, so like shovels, spades, hammers, a few other bits and pieces.
I assume Kazar's probably come in the
Yeah, so
building now.
Kazar and Ulfa have joined you in the building. Both have not been frightened from the stuffed bear.
I'll sort of say to Kazar, I was like, are you in need of any arrows?
Unless they're better than the ones I have. I'm not in particular need, and I'll ask you. It's like, what kind of arrows do you have?
He'll say, normal kinds.
Do you have any special items in here that maybe high priced that would be of special interest to anybody?
He says he has some tools that may be of interest to you.
Tools for what purpose?
Trade tools.
I will think on it and see what we may require for our journey. Thank you for your time. I will turn around and just walk out.
I'll say to him as a fellow hunter. What do you think? What do you think of my necklace?
He will say that he doesn't want to buy it.
Oh no, I'm not selling. This is way too personal. But yeah, I've been hunting myself, and I've got some bear teeth on here actually. Similar
I
to
will,
the one you've got by the door.
I'll then just sort of lean in and just say, he didn't kill the bear. He bought it off someone.
That's a lie. Oh, did he not buy? Oh, he didn't kill the bear.
No.
Right. So you didn't hunt this beast.
He shakes his head.
Oh, that's less interesting. Okay, and I'll
He
turn
will
around
say,
and leave.
it's a lovely necklace, so thank you for sharing.
You're welcome. Maybe one day you will hunt something successfully, and you'll know the thrill.
As both of those walks out, he sort of like shakes his head and look at you, Cluck, and says, "Seem to be getting strange folk in as of late. Friend of yours?"
And I'll just lean in and say, he thinks you're a hunter. And I'll wish him on his good day. I'll say if I need anything in terms of tools or anything, I'll be back.
He says, "Good day," and he looks forward to it.
Do we have anything to sell to him?
Duvar, you're on a tree-lined avenue walking towards a church.
Yes, I didn't say that. I didn't say that in game, did I?
Behind Kratel, who is in somewhat of a religious hurry. Like, you've not seen him move like this for some time.
I don't know.
He's walking fast without giving the appearance of walking fast.
Is that better?
Okay, yeah, Kratel, you will find yourself at the door of this place.
Is it open, closed?
Knock, knock.
It appears to be closed. You can tell because there's two pieces of wood in front of you.
I will see if they open. If they don't, I'll knock.
They do open, and ahead of you, you will see what appears to be a sort of a gathering or a sermon in process. There are several benches. Most of them are filled with what appear to be religious type people. They're wearing like robes of sort. There are some sort of like downtrodden is the wrong word, but poor people filling some of the benches as well. They look outwardly poor. It's like that's the best way to display them. Like villagers that look outwardly poor, dotted around the place in small groups, but it's mainly people in religious garb that are sat in the pews. At the back there is a what appears to be a quite a large, and by large I mean tall priest. Who's stood behind a lectern and he is preaching to his congregation.
Okay. I will find a place to stand or sit, and then I'll wait till it's over, and then I'll go talk to him.
Okay.
I'll follow his lead.
Okay. So you both find yourself a room at the end of a pew. Nobody seems to pay you any attention when you sit down, and the priest is continuing to lecture away. Now, I'd like you both to make a religion check to see if you notice anything about the sermon or anything about the church itself.
It concerns me he rolled better than I do, and I've got actually quite a large bonus to that.
So, as you're listening to the sermon, there's a couple of things that stand out. So the first thing is something that you notice, Kratel, and it's something that, despite Duvar's check, he would have difficulty picking up on. But the religion appears to be or the sermon in itself appears to be dedicated to Pelor.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
the other thing that you get bits of, but Duvar seems to get, is that this priest is essentially he's atypical in that he during his sermon, which will last 2 hours, that he will go into how essentially that things are changing and everybody, including the church, needs to change. And that anything that is static will wither and die is essentially the theme, that the recurring theme of his sermon.
Okay.
And
Okay.
everybody listening to it, you can tell just by looking around. This isn't the first time that you've heard, or they've heard this sermon, or like the message behind it. But you are now in for the long haul.
At least we don't actually have to listen to the sermon.
I'm going to send you a YouTube link for you to listen to until we get back to you.
Crazy American pasta video.
I say we must move! We must move!
Okay. Cluck, Kassar, and Ulthar.
I'll sort of, as I come out, I'll suggest we head to some of the other shops, see if there's anything else we might want to buy. And I'll point over to Godfrey's Good Horses and say that's a stables, or looks like a stables over there.
Pretty self-explanatory.
So that's where they said that's the only sort of smith that they have in the town.
Ah. What are you looking for a smith for?
Well, I was looking to replace the old faithful scimitar, but I don't think I'm going to have too much joy.
I mean, I'm happy to come and look, but I think you're probably on the money.
I'm gonna go take a look in the herbal infusion and see what they sell, and
Sure,
then should we all meet up before we go down to talk to the harbour master?
So yeah, so I'll go head into the herbal store, get some more potions if I have any.
Okay, let's do it. Let's herbal it up. Lead you first, Kassa. Look out for bears.
Yeah, I'll walk into the shop and go up to the shopkeeper and say, good day. Who am I met by?
Okay, so the building itself is quite simple. Looking from the outside, there is a chime by the door that sort of will chime as you enter. You sort of clatter into it. As you look around, you can see some sort of half-elf, female, you gather, at the back of the room, attending to different baskets of goods. As you look around the store, you will notice that there seems to be several taxidermied birds hanging from the ceiling and shelves.
What is it with people and taxidermy and animals in this?
Yeah, the people really like stuffed animals here. You can find real ones, like not too far away.
As
So,
the
yeah.
as the chimes goes off, this half elf will look up and sort of like beckon you into the store, and tell you, welcome to Herbal Infusion. How may I help you?
Yeah, my friends are looking for just to see what you sell, really, and see. I think my friend is looking for some healing potions or something of the kind. I'm looking for something a little bit different. What do you sell here mainly? Is it potions, or do you sell herbs that need to be infused, or
Herbs, potions, drinks, stones,
Stones.
crystals.
Runes?
I see. Stones.
No runes.
We've traveled a great deal and seen a lot. Is there something that you have to sell that is special or unique that might pique our interest?
Yes.
Such as?
She will open a small wooden box on the counter and pull out of it a circle disc that's slightly opaque. This.
It's a DVD.
You want to buy DVD?
DVDs are not slightly opaque.
Alright.
If it is slightly opaque, it doesn't work.
And what would this be?
She will say that it's a special blend that I make myself. It's quite refreshing.
Blend of what?
Herbs.
Like
For
a tea?
cooking, or for healing, or for what's the use of the herbs? Is it just for food?
You can use it to cook with. You can drink it. You can infuse it.
Oh my god, it's a hipster. She's a fucking hipster.
Well, that's not what I'm looking for, unless either of you are looking for this.
No, this is not my thing.
If it's something that you would possibly sell, I'm possibly looking to buy some poison and an antidote for it. If you've got any, you see.
Poison? We don't sell
it's
poison here.
just something like a tranquilizer or something that can eat. You know, I'd need the antidote in case I ever nicked myself with it, but I'm a hunter and it will make taking down prey a little easier.
She will tell you that this is a house of healing and there are no poisons within.
Someone's going to get the price raised.
I will pull out the alchemy book that I got from the wizard's floating island and put it on the desk and say, would this be of any interest to you to purchase? Then perhaps.
Perhaps, and she will sort of glance through a few pages and ask about its history.
It was rescued from a horde stolen by evil men. It is not of particular use to me, although I recognize its value in the information it holds. If it is not of interest, I can take it away. I'm sure I will find somebody.
She's flicking through it and again, just like casually looking at the pages. There's a few things here that are of interest. Most of it seems to. Most of it's nonsense. What are you looking for it?
I'm not certain.
30 gold?
I will take 30 gold. It is of no use to me. It is a heavy book.
She will smile and start counting out coins for you.
I hope it will be of much use to you.
Yes, and as soon as she's paid you, she will tear out 2 or 3 pages that are of interest to her and throw the rest of it in the trash.
I see. You really did not have use for a great deal of it.
Buy
In
the
that
book
case,
back
you're not
offer.
seeing my rare herbs and spices book.
um, well, I think. Did you want to buy some healing potions, Clark?
Yeah, so here, can I, what's, the sizes of healing potion do you have?
Potion size?
Do you have a greater healing or like a simple healing potion?
She says that she doesn't have any potions made up, but she can either prepare them and you can come back tomorrow to collect them, or she has rather recently started selling sort of like brewing at home kits, where she will give you all the ingredients you need for a potion, and you can sort of take it away and make it in your own leisure.
I'd say no. I said I don't trust myself. I'll probably end up blowing myself up. How much will you charge for a couple of healing potions?
50 gold each.
I say okay, fair enough. I will start counting out 100 pieces for her.
You can collect them tomorrow.
I say okay. I'll be back in the morning, and I'll hand over the gold pieces.
Get a receipt.
And a receipt if you have one.
She looks rather confused. What's a receipt?
Proof of purchase.
Oh, okay. She sort of looks around. She'll take the book out of the the, the bin. She'll tear out another page and she'll write on it 2 healing potions and give it to you. Will this do?
Yep, that'll be fine, thank you. And I'll
She throws the rest of the book back into the rubbish.
Out of interest, just for my own curiosity, what did the pages that you kept from the book refer to? What of it piqued your interest?
She will say, possible combinations of different concoctions. You have. She will sort of like sigh a little bit as she explains this. You have to understand that most people who write books don't know what they're talking about. And
I have always thought this to be true.
Therefore, you kind of have to take all of this with a pinch of salt and try it yourself. Now, the ones I've taken seem plausible, but brewing potions and combining potions is no easy feat.
I see. So you've taken them more as inspiration, perhaps, than direct instructions.
Yes, I suppose that's a good way of looking at it.
I understand. Well, thank you for your time. I will be leaving now.
I would like Duvar and Kratel to make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh God.
From being bored to tears.
Okay, Kratel, you become aware of Duvar is snoring. And it starts off quite light and wispy, but seems to be getting louder.
How close to me is he? Like, are we
He's
sat on the end of 2 different ones, or
No,
are we
you're
both
sat-
on the end of one?
You're sat on the same one.
I will elbow him slightly to wake him up.
The priest will look up for a moment from his sermon. Is there a problem back there?
Just enjoying join the service. Carry on, thank you.
He will nod and return back to his sermon, which has now moved on to a rather large retelling of how the order was founded here, and that the church itself has never stood still. That it started off as a local, like a shrine, and then that the order, also the church then grew into a church, and then the sort of the cloister was attached, and at every point it's never stood still. It again keeps referring and coming back to this point, and he'll also sort of start to touch on that he certainly feels that like theology can't be formalized, and that each god will reach out in different ways to different people, and that and he sort of like trails off on the point, but it's the point he's making is that like formal religion is a bad thing, and you shouldn't let anybody tell you the best way to practice religion. And again, like it doesn't seem to be getting any sort of sense that this is a new topic to his crowd.
Oh, this sounds like a nice guy, actually. I like him.
No, he is wrong. Only the Storm Lord can save you.
You're not here.
I know.
Which is probably a good thing.
Okay, so Kassar, Cluck, and Ulfar. Is there any other business you have at the potion shop?
No. I'm good. I'll leave. There's nothing I'm interested in.
Okay. You find yourself in the it's not an empty market square, but there's definitely no stalls opening.
Do you wish to try out this farrier clock to see if he's of any use, or have you given up on this?
I will. I'll have a wander over, but I'm not expecting him to be able to fashion anything of any quality. But I can always go and see what he can offer.
I'll go over. I'll follow him around. We'll go to the docks afterwards, eh?
Sounds like a plan. I would agree.
Okay. That is the wrong building.
Is it over here?
Oh. Sorry, yes.
Yep. So in the daytime, now the sort of several of the stables has been opened. You can see in the large attached paddock there is several horses and oxen.
If any of the horses seem like nice and friendly, I'll go over and stroke.
Make an animal handling check.
Never approach a horse. Unless you have carrots. Or apples.
Or polos.
Or polos. Horses fucking love polos.
Right, I know it. Ulfar has no polos and no horses approach you.
Okay, and then I will sort of lean up against the wall and wait for Clark to be done.
So yeah, I'll wander around and see if I can find the smithy farrier. We'll see if anyone's...
Yep. So towards the back of this building, there is like an open stables. Inside, you will find that there's a couple of people mucking out some of the stables. They will point you to one of the outbuildings and say that Mr. Godfrey's over there.
I'll say thank you very much, and I'll head over to the back building.
Yep. So the back building is a bit of like it's a combination of like a house and workshop, and sort of under the roof on one side where it's quite covered. Godfrey will be there, and he's seems to be sort of working through something, although it's not with any tools or anything. He's just sort of like he's got parchment and pen, and he seems to be either writing or drawing something.
I'll just sort of knock on the door, or knock on the side, just stick my head in and just sort of say good day.
And I say, good day to you, sir. Can I help?
I was like, yes, the chap in the basilisk store said you may be able, or you're the local smithy, as it were. But seeing as you're a carer of horses, you're probably just a farrier. But I said that you may be able to fashion some weapons or armor if the price is right.
He will say, well, I don't know where he got that idea from. Armor? No. A few bolts, maybe. A tip of a spear, perhaps, but armor, definitely not. That's intricate work, and you need an armorer to do that. And the best place to find an armorer on this island is Askaby.
Yes, he did mention there wasn't much need for weaponry in this town, but I said you were the best person to go to.
He will correct you and say, I'm the only person here who works with metal. I imagine that's why he sent you here, although I'm afraid he's wasted both our time.
Yes, and I will say we got some fine ponies here walking through.
He'll say, thank you. There's a few people who stable animals here. People staying at the inn. I've also got a few of my own as well that I breed and sell.
Very good. So unfortunately, I haven't got any apples or polars on me, so I know they're quite partial to a treat or two. And then I will bid him farewell and leave the building.
I'll interject and just say, so what animals do you have?
Horses. That are my own anyway.
Well, we're looking to get off the island by boat, and if the hold is big enough to take a horse, how much would you sell a horse for?
I'll say depends on the type of horse you're after. I've got some that are good for riding, some that are good for carrying.
Just something reliable, something comfortable, not nearing its deathbed would be preferable.
Let's say 75 gold for the horse. 15 gold for the saddle and bags.
Thank you. I'll take that into consideration.
Says if you need a wagon or cart to go with those, they're additional.
That's fine.
I was just sort of saying, does that come with a fresh set of shoes?
He'll say that if they need shoes, I can give them shoes.
If we're able to find passage off and there's room in the hold for an extra horse, I may be back. Thank you.
Says, I trust you can see yourself out.
Of course. So I'll head out, and if there's no one who wants to do anything else, I'll head down to the harbour.
Yep, I will follow you, sir.
Now, considering what day it is, are there many people down by the harbour at all?
So there's seems to be several people around. There's fishermen unloading catch on one of the ships. There is likewise some ships that look boats that look like they're making ready to go out into the harbour or beyond. The only sort of real sailing ship is at the north end of the dock, and there are definitely people around it. In fact, even before you get to the dock, you can see that the jetty itself has 2 people stood sort of halfway down, and behind them there's a plethora of supplies that are being loaded onto the ship. Now the 2 people that are stood sort of almost barring access to the jetty are wearing what looks like Imperial uniform.
Ah, this may not be such a good idea. Do I see that the people on the boat itself are wearing Imperial Navy, or is it just the 2 people on the jetty that are wearing Imperial uniform?
Everybody on the boat appears to be wearing uniform. Now there are varying styles of uniform, but and you get a glimpse of what you think is the captain with a rather dashing hat, but he quickly disappears below decks.
Oh dear.
Well, this appears to be an Imperial ship. I'm not sure it's one of Her Majesty's finest warships, but it's definitely not civilian.
Yes, and if you are still wanted, it may be that we need to head to, albeit it seems counterintuitive, but a bigger city in order to get up going. Don't
yes,
land
Well,
you in
we
jail.
may have some luck that these soldiers may not have even heard of us if they've arrived here recently. They may not even
Perhaps.
be aware of our existence, but it is risky.
It also, I would guess that this boat will go south, which northward was preferable to us.
Yes, but I don't know how many ships are sailing towards those broken shores.
I agree. It is not. Um,
If we're willing to tag along on another boat, it's more likely to take us to one of the more civilized shores, and the Empire is the most likely target, as much as I hate to say it.
I understand. Yes. Okay. Hmm. I am not wanted for anything. I could try walking down the jetty, talking to men, and see if they're even accepting bartered passage on this boat.
It can't hurt to ask. Ask them if they're willing to take passengers, and if so, what the cost is.
Okay. Yeah, I'll stroll off down the jetty to speak to the 2 sort of guards halfway down.
Tell him you're good in a storm, and I'll laugh to myself.
Good day, gentlemen. Are you representatives of the fine craft behind you?
One of them will say, "Aye, we serve on the Challenger."
The Challenger. Ah, a good name. I was just wondering where your ship intends to head next, and whether or not you are chartering for passengers.
No passengers.
Not for any price.
They sort of like look at each other and says, "No, the captain. He doesn't like civilians."
I understand. I often don't like them myself.
So
Out
they'll
of
do you no good
curiosity,
anyway. We're just patrolling the waters around the island.
I see. So you're just making for port across the island to keep the waters safe.
We're picking up fresh supplies for fish hook point. From there,
I
we'll be
see.
back to our usual mission.
I understand. Thank you for talking to me. Hopefully, I will be able to charter a boat elsewhere.
He will say, if you're looking for a boat, you could try Breckerby. Otherwise, Askeby is your only choice.
I understand. Thank you very much, sir. And I will puddle off.
And you'll overhear them talking to each other as you walk away. And you go, he was a nice enough sort. Bit funny sounding, but nice.
When I eventually catch up to the other two, I'll be like, they thought that was nice.
Did you find out if we can get on the ship?
They won't accept passengers. It appears to be a some sort of naval patrol vessel, occasionally dropping off supplies, but they will take no passengers.
Not even for a few coin?
Not for any coin. I made out that I was far wealthier than I am. Apparently, the captain is has an issue with civilians.
Mm.
The ship is called the Challenger. If that means anything to you, because I can't imagine you know every ship in the Empire.
No, I wasn't in the Navy. And be honest, the ships I ever rode on, I didn't really care to find out.
Fair enough. It looks like Ascoby might be our only choice for a big enough boat that is willing to take us, that is not in military hands. Those men that I talked to suggested, yes, Breckerby, but Ascoby more likely.
That might be necessary then.
Yes, it does. It feels as much so.
I doubt the rest of any of these vessels could get us across open water. They look like fishing boats or private vessels.
I wouldn't have thought so, no. To be fair, even the masted ship is not exactly a heavy sea breaker. What do we want to do next?
Okay, so at this point, Kratel and Duval, that the sermon will finish, and that the village folk will start to file out of the door, and the religious-looking folk will start to file further into the church.
I will move forward and try and get the attention of the priest.
I will wait where I am.
Okay, so as you move forward, the priest will see you. He will get down from his lectern, and as you see him sort of get down, you'll see that he is not a tall man at all, but is in fact a halfling. And as you get close enough to the front of the church, you can see that his lectern has a lot of stairs built into it.
Good day, good sir.
I'm gonna say, greetings, child. Welcome to our order.
Yeah, just passing through at the moment, really. However, I just wondered if you had some information at all. I'm here on a mission, well, more a quest for my order. I'm part of the Blackwater Brotherhood. I don't know if you knew where they are here at all.
He will say that there's no Blackwater Brotherhood in these parts. We are the only order on this part of the island. This is the Order of the Morning Sun. I am Father Bosco.
Yeah, my order, basically, they make beer a lot. And they're more brewers than religious.
He says, yes, I've heard of the Blackwater Brotherhood. But as to these parts, no, certainly not.
Do I believe him?
Do you want to make an insight check?
Yeah, you do.
That was so nearly a
That
two.
teetered on that too.
Too so long.
Yes. From what he's saying to you, let's put it this way: as far as you can tell, he's telling you the truth.
Okay. In that case, I will turn and say, well, thank you for your time, and I enjoyed your service. However, I will need to make my way and see if I can find any information.
Says you're more than welcome to attend again.
And if I happen to be in the area, I'm sure I will. And with that, I'll turn and walk.
Okay. So, are you walking out, or are you going back to Duvar?
I will tap Duvar on the arm as I walk out towards going out the door.
I will follow.
Well, that seems a bit weird. Apparently, he knows of my order, but says there's none in these parts. However, I was sent out this way to help.
Maybe a better look around would be in order then. Some investigation, my friend.
Yes, I do believe that's what I'll have to do.
Okay. As you're leaving, and you exit the church, under one of the trees by the pond, there will be somebody trying to get your attention.
Is he jumping up and down, waving his hand?
No, he's just sort of stood there looking at you.
Alright, I'll walk over.
Okay. There seems to be a male human, and he introduced himself as Guileless. He says, "What do you think about the sermon?"
It was a bit long, but I got what he was going for.
Did you? I didn't make any heads nor tails of it really, but it sounds like he's changing everything.
He will shake his head and says, "He he talks about change, but he's not enacted any himself. Maybe when he was a younger man. Now it's just the same old story for the same old ears."
What does he want to change?
Nothing. That's what I'm alluding to. And he'll look back at you, Kratel. Quick friend you've got here.
Yeah. He does have uses, though.
Not many of them.
Says, today over here, you say you were from the Blackwater Brotherhood?
That would be correct. And what interest is that to you?
He says, I'm the reason you've been sent here. I'm the one who sent for aid from the Blackwater Brotherhood.
Ah.
Our orders aren't the same. We're not even similar. But believe in this matter we'll be aligned enough that we can act, despite what Father Bosco might think.
Well, I was only the only information I was given was to come out and provide aid. I was not informed of what the problem actually was.
Are you familiar with the Kirkland family?
Are they the ones that grow the stuff for the wine?
Well, they don't grow it. Their slaves grow it.
Ah,
That is a man that has got fat and rich on the backs of others. Me and a few of the order, we want to put a stop to this, and that's why we sent for help.
well, help has arrived, and I also have other companions with me that do have a very, very large hatred for slavery.
Good, good, good. What do they feel about bloodshed?
That they've seen their fair share of that.
That's good indeed.
Very passive. Very passive people.
Says, I believe that we need to take bold action, and I and my fellow brothers and sisters here, we intend to free as many of the slaves as possible. Now, the Kirkland family aren't going to let them go free without a fight.
Do you have a plan?
Yes, I just told you. We're going to free the slaves.
That's a goal, that's not a plan. How do you intend to perform that?
Ah, that's why I hope you can come in.
Wait, was your plan to hire other people to do it for you?
No, we sent for aid for the Brotherhood, and the Brotherhood have sent us you.
Okay,
Plan was to ask for aid from the Brotherhood.
And aid has been provided, and now we can act. I'm surprised they
Okay,
let him join. He doesn't seem
And
intelligent enough.
I'm the slow one here.
yeah.
Okay.
He is not part of the Brotherhood. He, however, is one of my companions. But to go through this properly, I will need to know all the information you have, and then I'll need to have a sit down with the rest of my companions so we can see what we can come up with.
Okay, that seems fair. Me and a couple of the Order will meet you this evening down by Beggar's Row. It's by the docks. It's a ratty, shitty sort of place. You can't miss it.
Okay, what kind of time?
After dark.
Okay.
We will attach a feather to the door. That's how you'll know which one to enter.
Understood.
It says you can leave the slow one behind.
I'll probably leave him with a bottle of wine.
Yes, just don't make sure you don't drink any of that Kirtland filth. It's full of the blood of slaves. And before Duvar can say anything, he will say, not literally. Although much blood has been spilt in making it. Now, I best be off. The midday meal will be served, and Father Bosco will get quite upset if we're not all there.
Hmm.
Okay, and if I need to find you at any other time, I guess you'll be around the grounds.
Yes, although outsiders aren't normally allowed in, so he just kind of shrugs and says, we'll run into each other, I'm sure.
Okay. And with that, we will take our leave.
And he will head back inside the church.
Alright, I'm guessing the others didn't actually tell us where they were going when we walked off.
No, they kind of walked into a store and you guys walked off, so.
That's true.
God, this kind of confirmed one thing for me. I was trying to think what uniforms have we come across? It was actually the only one I could think of was the Slaver Guard uniform. But yeah.
Nope, it is not that uniform.
Damn.
However, you will get to kill some slavers, so you'll be happy.
Hey, for once, our goals semi-align.
Yeah.
When Kratel gets back to tell us.
Yes. So, Cluck, Kassa, and Ulfar, you walking down the docks and heading where?
We hadn't decided. That was literally what I said as we cut away. Where do we want to go next?
Well, doesn't look like we're going to get much luck here. Should we head back into town, see if we can find the others?
The inn is the most likely place for them to find us, or vice versa. So I would guess we should go back that way.
Yes. All right, let's go that way then. We're heading just back towards there then.
Okay, and Kratel and Duvar?
Yeah, head back.
It makes sense for us to go look at the shops first to see if they were there, wouldn't it?
Well, yeah, walk through the main point, kind of through this bit.
Okay, I'm assuming you don't see them.
Are they there? Then I'm pretty sure that we're not going to see them.
Sorry, that was presuming you don't see them. What is your next action?
Yeah, I'll head up towards the inn.
Okay, I was going to say, did you need to look for anything in the shops or anything like that?
No, I'm fairly stocked, to be fair. I've still got 5 healing potions.
Good for you. Alright, we'll go up to the inn then.
Okay. So, at some point during the afternoon, you all end up back in the inn, in the common room.
I will go to the bar and ask them what their best ale is.
I'll walk up as well and ask if I can book the room again for another.
I say, yes, certainly. That would
And
be 3
how
gold.
much? Okay. And I pay 3 gold.
Okay.
And I'll let Duvar continue his order.
I was going to say, noticing Kratel and Duval walk into the bar, I'll sort of call him over and ask him where he's been all day so far.
Alright, I'll walk over, say to Kazar, that is a conversation for when we're back in the room.
Something exciting then.
Starting to look that way.
Well, there's Imperials at the dock, so wouldn't be too excited. We can't get a hitch on any of the boats here.
I'll bring over 5 ales. If I ever get served.
You want ales, not wine?
Yeah, ales today and not wine. I'm going for the wine today. I feel it's afternoon.
Okay.
Wine's an evening thing.
So you are served and you're asked for what sort of ale would you like?
the local ale.
He'll say that they have a malt that they brew locally. Would you like
Brilliant.
gallons or pints?
Ooh. We'll just go for pints for now, I think. Let's go for 5 pints of that.
What's in pints?
That would be 7 silver and 8 copper.
7 silver and 8 copper. I 8 silver and say keep the change.
You're thanked, and some like brown malt beer is poured into mugs and placed on the table in front of you.
Okay. If I need to carry it over, I'll carry it over. And put it in front of everybody. One in front of everybody.
Thank you, Duvar.
Thank you.
Very kind.
Cheers.
And since Alpha has nicely brought us Alpha, was it Alpha? No, it's Kratel, sorry. Yeah, it was Kratel that bought the room, wasn't it?
This
Yes.
night, yeah.
I think I'll raise a glass to him.
I will mirror the said gesture.
Cheers. Cheers.
Clunk.
I'll relay what I said to Kratel to Duvar as well, that we're not getting out of here on the ship that I saw yesterday.
Because it's chances to go to Askerby.
It's an Imperial ship.
Was there any other ships around?
Nothing seaworthy that will get us out into the open waters.
Was there something that could get us to another dock?
No, they're all small fishing ships. They wouldn't make it probably.
Skiffs and things.
In all honesty, we're probably better off travelling to Askerby and getting a ship from there.
It would be a lot of backtracking. However, does anyone remember what the largest boat the woman sold back in Caldecald?
They were more like rafts, I think. They were for like lakes
I
and
would
things.
imagine so. Let me have a look. Did I write it down?
Because I know she sold many different sizes, but I don't know if any of them were like large.
Seeing as her place was in the middle of the town that had bridges and stuff, I can't imagine it was very large. But
Doesn't mean she didn't have some sat on dock somewhere.
Dry dock.
No, I didn't write it down. It's not in my
I'm gonna
notes.
say it's very unlikely that she had anything seaworthy for the high seas.
I can't imagine so. Yeah. Then
It was more like small river swamps and a lake.
Yeah, I was just trying to think of
with
something
waves.
safer.
Yeah.
We may, if we are to head to Askerby, then we may need disguises of one kind.
Oh, very much so for certain members of our group.
I don't think I'm going to fit into a disguise.
That is true. But also, you are not one of the people that currently have a bounty on you.
We can just pretend you have a hump.
The bells!
I could pretend to be a barrel.
You're the hunchback of Askerby.
Oh dear. Okay.
Anyway, let's have a drink, and then I'm eager to hear this news of yours, Kratel.
Yeah, we'll finish up this and then we'll head up.
Sounds juicy, and I like juicy.
You are an odd fellow, Kassar.
I have no idea what you mean.
You like juicy things and back alleys. You are an odd man.
I'm a red-blooded man.
No.
Off track, off track.
Oh dear. Yeah. Ulfar necks his entire beer. And then belches loudly.
Wonderful. I'll drink mine like a normal human being.
Yep, same.
Same.
So I presume we spend the next 10 to 20 minutes people drinking their beer, and then we head upstairs.
Yeah, it's the first beer I've had in a few days, so definitely less,
mid-afternoon?
more than 10 minutes less than
Savouring
20.
it.
Yeah.
You know when you're really gasping and you start drinking a beer and you think you're savouring it and you're done in about 5 minutes.
While everybody else is sitting and drinking their beer, I'm gonna like walk around the room looking at all the knickknacks and whatnot. Just sort of like
Yeah, lots of taxidermied heads of stuff.
yeah. Like randomly poking bits of it and seeing how they're attached to the wall, and like just generally like a cat just sort of poking all over the shop.
And hopefully not attaching the animate object things you have to any.
I don't think I have them anymore. I think I sold them. Yeah, I sold them a while
Yeah,
ago.
you sold them to Alora.
He did, didn't he? That
Yeah.
that would have been so funny.
She's not likely to misuse them.
No, but he might have done leaving with the one with the bear.
Old Smoky.
Old Smoky.
We are looking for a fellow, by the way. Of his name is oh, what was his name again? Old Sark. Come across anybody like that?
Old Sark. No.
Yeah.
Nope.
It was suggested that he might have a map that for the seas.
Ah.
No, we only talked to the larger vessel. He may be in command as one of the smaller vessels.
More likely to find more people around tomorrow anyway,
Yeah.
considering what day.
Indeed.
Keep a note out to ask around for him if you can.
Okay. So presuming you all head up to your room.
Yep.
Now what?
I relay to the others what I was told. What was his name? It was like Gladys or something, wasn't it?
Galus.
Gladys. Okay. Yeah, I relay the details I was given by.
Was it Guileless or Gayless?
Galus.
Guy as in guile. Guy.
Guileless. Without guile.
Yeah, because he doesn't have any guile, does he?
Does Kassar have any tells when the name of Kirkland comes up?
No, but when the name of Kirkland does come up, I will turn to Cluck and say that that's the man who put us into slavery.
That is not.
Oh, wow!
It is not.
No, I know that's a lie, but that is
Oh
a real
shit!
cunning.
That is actually he's lying. I figured he'd just forgotten.
No, that's me telling a genuine lie to
Okay.
Cluck.
Shit.
Son of a bitch.
Deception.
It depends if Cluck thinks I'm lying or if Cluck believes it.
I've got no reason to second guess you.
Well, other than me and Cluck, no one else here would know because everyone else is either gone
No.
or dead.
Yeah.
I'll scratch my head. I was like, we all woke up in the back of a wagon. I don't remember that name being mentioned at all. I could be wrong. It was a long time ago.
Well, I noticed some men, but Kirkland is definitely in the slave trade, and it was something found out later on that he was the one who sold us into the slave pits, forced us to fight.
What sort of go? I don't think so.
Truly, this Kirkland sounds like a truly evil man.
Do you not believe him, Clock?
No.
Okay, so I will ask a deception contested by insight.
Whoa, that's not a good.
No.
I don't know. You
Why
watch
couldn't
me.
you roll like that when you were rolling against Ares, motherfucker?
Yeah, so Clock, you don't believe him.
No shit.
I sort of say to yourself, I agree with this man's a man of slavery, but I'm pretty certain he's not the one who sold us into slavery.
If you say so, but I'm fairly sure that was the name I had.
Either way, so this guileless man, he wants us to destroy the wine economy of the town by setting free all these slaves and potentially killing of a militia and powerful family. Is that what I'm getting here? I'm not saying it's a bad idea necessarily. I'm just trying to get the facts straight.
Well, if we have the opportunity to remove a slave master, I think we should consider it.
It'd be beneficial to all, not to mention the people who are enslaved by him.
I grant you it has moral value. Do we know the specs of this man's compound? Do we know what sort of guards are kept in this place?
There is a meeting with Guileless later tonight to go over the information they have. It's probably easier if we come up with some form of plan based on that.
I agree. I don't think moving forward without the information makes any sense.
Though I think you'll find that the information is going to be. I'm pretty sure it's going to be quite sparse because their plan so far we've gathered is to get someone else to do it.
Well, I've only seen one guarded estate in this entire place. So if I'm to assume that that's the place where this is all taking place, then
I'm fairly certain you read the name on the front of it as well.
No, there's no name, I don't think.
No, there's no name. There was a livery of a guard that he didn't recognise. He recognised, but he couldn't
that wasn't
place.
Imperial. Yeah,
Yeah.
there was livery that wasn't Imperial. So it's the only other guarded place in Badir that I've seen.
So would you like to, before this meeting, perhaps make your way over there and see what you can identify from, outside the compound?
Scout it out a little bit.
Well, there's 2 guard posts and a high wall, so if anyone's going to scout it, should be someone with wings.
That is a good point.
Otherwise, I would not advise doing this in broad daylight.
That is true.
Not even with your sneaky skills.
You cannot hide in shadows that do not exist.
Yeah, half of the skill of sneaking is knowing when to do it.
Okay,
I'll soar above the town.
Look, before you go, I think maybe perhaps then, based on this, we should wait till this evening's meeting, find out what we know from them, and rather than taking the risk of you being spotted. If maybe they have, very exhaustive studies of the compound, it's not worth you risking being seen.
Do it
until
once
you
we
know
have
what
an
you know.
idea where to go,
Mhm.
what to look out for.
Perhaps.
Seems like
Yes, because we might want you to look for something special.
So you don't think it's worth having a reconnoiter beforehand, before we go to the meeting, just to understand the layout?
I think, as Kassar talked about the fact that it is the middle of the day, is maybe perhaps.
Plus, we don't know if they have ties to the Empire, and if they do, they will know of Cluck anyway.
Yes, but I don't mean as in look over the walls, just scout the surroundings around the place.
If I'm honest, probably, and this is off the top of my head, the best thing to do would be to free the slaves and incite some sort of small rebellion and get out without people knowing it was us.
Wow, that's a really small idea.
It's not a terrible idea.
With the chaos of the slaves being freed, we'll be able to deal with Kirkland.
Yeah.
So get me Gaius and Falco.
So we're talking about we'll free the slaves. Okay, that's a possibility.
That will keep the guards busy.
Then we'll just arrange a rebellion.
Well, the slaves being free of itself will cause enough chaos.
The slaves being slaves, you don't know what state they're going to be in.
But there's also I don't know what use slaves might be against armed guards. We need more information. Wait for the talking speculative.
They'll be good at blunting the weapons slightly.
Wow.
That was pretty dark.
Well, you're sending up slaves against, as you said, slaves against armed people. What do you think is going to happen?
They're going to run and draw the guards away. I'm not saying they just go literally sell their lives for us, but they're going to draw guards away. Jesus Christ, Duvar. Have a slightly tactical mind.
I am. That's the problem.
I say we make rest here, get our strength to its fullest. Should it be necessary for us to move quickly after this meeting, and we'll go from there.
So if the slaves are harvesting crops and making beer, they would have surely scythes and pitchforks anyway.
Well, presumably the slaves are locked away at night, so they're not able to get to time. Presumably the tools are counted and made sure that they can't steal something like that. I mean, these are slaves after all, and if they're guarded as well, they'll be more likely to be like prisoners than
Kratel has a crowbar. Break the locks.
To be fair,
if you want to save the slaves, you're not going to be sending them out, just getting them to run and send them out, because what's going to happen is as you said, they're going to get run down by the guards and killed. So
because I can't afford any more additional heat.
Yes, but your job is to save the slaves, not free them and let them get killed. That's the job.
That's your job.
No, it's not. It's his, pointing at Kratel.
Well, you were there.
Well, as I said, I think speculating before this meeting is pointless.
Yes. Yeah.
I think.
Oh, and when we go round there, we're looking for a feather tied to a door. That'll signify which door we have to open.
Okay.
Okay. Well, then I suggest we see what they have to say at this meeting.
Mm-hmm.
Can we trust this person, Kratel? Genuinely.
Thus far, I believe so. I don't think I would have been sent out just on a whim to come and have a look.
Yes, so you trust the people that mission comes from, not the person himself.
Yeah, but I would like to think they would have at least had a reason for sending me out. It wouldn't have just been
of course.
like it's a random person asks for help and they go, oh, okay, here you go. There isn't enough of my order just to be sent out randomly.
Makes sense. I understand. Well, then I am going to put my feet up. I am going to have 40 winks. Wake me up when it's time to go to the meeting.
It depends who wants company. He didn't want me to come.
Why is that?
I have no idea.
The guy who we're going to see thought he might be a little slow.
What a rude man!
Yeah, the guy didn't. The guy didn't get sarcasm.
Yeah.
I'll laugh and say I'm sure he's not the first person to have thought that.
I think.
Not the first person to make this mistake either.
Kratel, while I understand you trust your brothers that sent you here, you have no knowledge of this man. I do not think it would to the meeting alone, so I would suggest we, unless you are majorly opposed to that.
No, I'm more than happy for people to come along. The more minds, the better.
If he doesn't want everyone there, I suggest you also have a lookout, just in case it's not what he seems.
Not bad. And are you stepping bravely forward to hide in the shadows there? Because
I was talking about the guy who wasn't invited, but
okay.
I mean, sure.
Sorry, I'm used to you bravely hiding.
I can come along, but just not go to the meeting. I just hide it. I'll just
stay in the shadows.
Stay in the shadows with Kratel, keeping him company. You know, I didn't want him to be bored or anything.
How did that work out last time?
Absolutely fine.
He fell asleep.
In a barrel.
Absolutely fine.
Okay, so we have overran slightly, so I think that's as good a spot as any to end it for this evening. So if you're still watching, thank you very much. If you're new, do give us a follow. We really do appreciate it. If you have any feedback, either in the chat or hit us up at Twitter, we are at the Pie Friends. And yeah, we'll see how things go horribly wrong next week when the group attempts to. Or doesn't attempt to do one of several things that they could do. Anything from any of you guys before we break?
Everything will go perfectly.
It always does, right?
Any tips on inciting Cluck to bloodlust? Send them to Kassar at... No, I'm kidding.
At thepieFriends.com.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Goodbye.
See you later.
Cheers, everyone.
See ya.
Bye.